The best 5 strange places the world wonder. The strange place Holland Island. Today there's not much left of the Holland Island, named after the early colonist Daniel Holland who inhabited it in the 1600s. Situated in the Chesapeake Bay, in Dorchester County, Maryland, the island had about 360 residents in 1910, a community of fishers and farmers, making it one of the largest inhabited islands in the Chesapeake Bay. Among the many buildings on the island there were 70 homes, many stores, a post office, a 2-room school with 2 teachers, a church, and a community center. Holland Island though is primarily made up of clay and silt and not rock. The wind and tide began to seriously erode the island in 1914, and in 1918 the last family left Holland Island after a tropical storm damaged the island's church. The island continued to subside year by year, and today at high tide the island is underwater. In October 2010, the last remaining house on Holland Island, built in 1888, collapsed. What is Lenin, Stalin and Dzerzhinsky doing at the bottom of the Black Sea? At Cape Tarhunkit in Crimea, 100 meters from the shore, there is an unusual museum, an underwater analog of Moscow Museum. In 1992, a diver Vladimir Boruminsky found at a depth of 12-15 meters the first sculptures of the Soviet leaders, that had already been dismantled in the Crimean cities and towns. Then busts of Lenin, Marx and Voroshilov settled here. Boruminsky planned his venture in a big way and wanted to bring Mao, Mussolini, and Napoleon to the Soviet pantheon. The emperor has not appeared on the original Walk of Fame, but divers from all over Ukraine started to complement the collection of Soviet leaders. Today in the Underwater Museum there are several dozens of exhibits, from Stalin and Dzerzhinsky to Gorky and Gagarin. There is a department of writers, there is Lenin leading the boy by the hand, and the other rare sculptures that do not fit in the traditional Soviet canon. In Indian wonder hidden underwater, the Jal Mahal Palace. Jal Mahal is a large-dimension palace designed using architectural and painting patterns of the Indian culture, as it was a few centuries ago. It is situated right in the middle of the Mansalgar Lake, which is surrounded by the Aravalli Hills range. The symmetrical building seems to have one floor, and its reflection in the water gives visitors a spectacular view, especially in the night time. But there's more to it. The Jal Mahal Palace has another 4 secret floors hidden under the water, and they are just as beautiful as the visible part of this architectural wonder. However, this happened in time, as it was initially built as an establishment for those who used to hunt in the area, particularly the Raja of that time. During those days, the area was only a depression and the water level was rarely increasing, usually when it rained for several days in a row. During the 18th century, the king of Amber, which is nowadays the historical region of Jaipur nearby the lake, decided to build a dam between the 2 surrounding hills to prevent any flood. It was then that the castle was partially covered in water. Nowadays, visitors can get to the palace using boats especially designed to match the appearance of the building. On the roof, there are various plants, including a few fully grown trees that can be seen from the shore. From the well-preserved hand paintings that fill every hall and room to the stairs and the beautifully designed terrace on the roof, the Jal Mahal Palace is definitely one of the greatest Indian creations that remained well-preserved until the present day. The Chinese underwater city of Xicheng. Deep inside the Qiyandao Lake in the Zhejiang province of China, 400 kilometers 250 miles south of Shanghai, lies the ancient submerged city of Xicheng Lion City. The city was built during the Eastern Han Dynasty AD 25-200 and was first set up as a county in AD 208. The city was named Xicheng from the nearby Wuxi Mountain, located just behind the city. The valley surrounding the city was flooded in 1959 to create the Qiyandao Lake, also known as Thousand Island Lake, for the Zinan River Dam project. Nearly 300,000 people had to relocate for the project, some of whom had families that had lived in the area for centuries. The Lion City was rediscovered in 2001 when the Chinese government organized an expedition to find the remains of the ancient metropolis. In 2011, the Chinese National Geography published some never-before-seen photographs and illustrations which raised international interest for the lost city, with many calling it the Atlantis of the East. Today, Xicheng remains submerged at a depth of 2640 meters 131 feet and measures about half a square kilometer 123 acres. Expeditions have revealed that the city had 5 entrance gates, as opposed to the traditional 4, with 2 western-facing gates as well as gates in the other cardinal directions. The city's wide streets also have 265 archways, featuring preserved stonework of lions, dragons, phoenixes and historical inscriptions, some of which date back as far as 1777. Even though it is submerged, Xicheng has remained well preserved. 5. Drought in Mexico reveals ruins of beautiful 16th century church. The ruins of a beautiful 16th century church have emerged from the depths of a Mexican reservoir for the second time in 13 years as a result of drought. The water level of the Nezahualcóyotl Reservoir in Chiapas is said to have fallen by around 25 meters, enough to reveal the usually submerged remains of the Temple of Santiago, or Temple of Quechua, a place of worship that was originally lost to the waters in 1966 when the nearby dam was constructed and the reservoir flooded. The first time the church was revealed, in 2002, the reservoir's water level had receded so much that people were able to explore the inside of the church. Today, with the water level that much higher, local fishermen are giving curious passengers a closer look by ferrying them around the ruins.